Hi, and welcome to another organ practice video at St. Paul's in Kansas City. Usually organists are working a few weeks out ahead, and it's coming up on Advent pretty soon. And one of the pieces that we almost always play for Advent is a chorale prelude by Bach called Wachet. And there's a lot to get into in this one. I'm going to speculate a little bit on it. But it's a familiar tune. It's from a collection called the Schubler chorales. And the Schubler chorales are movements from cantatas, larger works that he wrote for choir and orchestra, soloists, things like this, that he went back and said, oh, you know what, this piece is actually really good. I'm going to arrange it for an organ solo piece. And this one's pretty familiar for Advent. You might have heard it. It sounds like this. And I just want to take a second at the beginning of this video and talk about the nature of that opening melody and how, in some ways, shocking it was and how desensitized our ears are to it. So if you think about how a scale works, we really want to wind up on the note that we started, so that if I climb 3 notes, my ear eventually wants to hear me descend those 3 notes to get back to where I started. And that's very satisfying. And if you thwart that goal in some way, it becomes less satisfying, or it prolongs the feeling of resolution at the end of it. And look how Bach constructs this opening melody. We get that opening ascent of 3 notes, and then instead of going back down 3, we go down 1, and then we go up 2. So okay, we sort of got to the 3rd note, and then we went down to the 2nd note and up to the 4th and back down to the 3rd. So we didn't really go anywhere after we got to the 3rd note. We just sort of circled around it. And then instead of resolving it or going the rest of the way down, all of a sudden he jumps to this note, and now I'm on the 4th note again, but down low, and my ear wants to hear that note resolve to this note. So I feel satisfied, but he doesn't do that. Instead of resolving it, he jumps back up and goes and ends on the 2nd note, which makes me want to resolve to that, but he doesn't give us that. And then he jumps back down to this note that wasn't resolved, and he resolves it down this way. So first of all, see if your ear can pick up when I jump down that he doesn't resolve it the first time, he jumps back up, and then he resolves it the 2nd time. Here's the jump down, unresolved, and then he resolves it, and then we want to get back down to that to end, but instead of ending on the right note, we end on the note below the right note. And then he goes back up to the right note. So we're always in this thing where we're landing on notes that are dissonant, which was not brand new. The couple generations before him were experimenting with this idea of landing on the wrong note and then resolving it. But this whole melody is just a little bit off that way. The notes aren't resolving until after they're supposed to. Okay, so we have this sense of discombobulation, if you like. Why do we have a sense of discombobulation? Well, the text of this hymn is Wachet auf. Sleepers awake is what it is. Wake up, wake up. He's saying, wake up. So he gives you this sense at the beginning of it that things are just a little bit groggy and disorienting. And then he does 2 things, and here's where I'm going to get a little more speculative. When the melody of the hymn comes in, it's not in the right place, at least compared to one of the other harmonizations of Bach's that we have from the last movement, I think, of this cantata is where this harmonization comes in. But the melody of this hymn goes. And it's supposed to go, if I count it out for you, it's supposed to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Yeah, but when Bach does it this time, the first time we hear this melody, it comes in on the wrong beat. It comes in on 3. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not right. It's late coming in, as if it's having a hard time getting up out of bed. It's late coming in, he's slumbering too long, and so then it wakes up. And then the second time we hear the little melody, it comes in at the right time. And then the last time we hear the melody, it's supposed to go 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But Bach has it come in early, and it comes in on beat 2 instead of on beat 4. So it comes in earlier than it's supposed to. And so you get a sense through the whole thing. Why, in that case, I'm not sure. In the original setting of the text, that's where the text, because he sets it to the second stanza in the cantata, which is Zion hears the voice, and then it wakes up, and right at that point where, so we get the sense that Zion's waking up, it comes in late the first time, then it comes in at the correct beat, and then the final time when it comes in early, the text is talking about the island, Wachet or something like that. We're hurrying to wake up, and on the timing that he mentions the word hurry, it comes in a couple beats early. So speculation, but Bach is always motivated by text. So we have this discombobulated melody, I'm disoriented, waking up, and then we have the chorale coming in kind of at offbeat and weird times. I'm going to play you this opening section so that you can get a sense of the whole and how it all fits together. So that's Bach's Wachet auf from the Schubler chorales, and it'll be coming up in Advent. Thanks so much for listening this week, and tune back in again soon.